Hey, Tom. Can't hear you still. Might be
Does that work?
that you. I got you now. Yep.
Okay, the mic's not going to work on that. It says output. Let me try the Yeti there. Test, test, test. Talk. No?
Yeah, I
No.
hear you
Okay,
this whole
forget it.
time. So
Microphone's not hooking up. That's fine.
okay. Actually, this might work out better. For some reason, it didn't start recording automatically, but I found the way to get it recording now that we've all joined. So
Excellent. Very cool.
cut out the first couple of minutes again. So
No problem. I sent you a ton of stuff that you can peruse at your leisure, and we're getting everything together, like the main players and everything involved in our story. So we're going to be able to present it much more clearer now.
okay,
It's,
perfect.
like we said, you can never have too much evidence. All right, let's do it.
All
Very cool.
right, so we let's do the introductions first off. Joe Roselle, Medicare broker here in the Valley. My all-time guest, Tom Althouse, the writer of the immortal screenplay, which was stolen to create The Matrix,
Mhm.
and a new friend of mine, Joe, and I won't say her last name in case you don't want it online. But let's go ahead and if you can go ahead, just kind of introduce yourself, Joe, for a minute, and just kind of let us know who you are.
Hey, I'm Joe Rose. I don't care. Uh,
Yeah.
I was in the Marine Corps a long time ago, you know, uh, and got out, got married, had some kids, became an electrician for a long time, met a lot of crazy people in the construction trade. They had a lot of wild ideas, that that I talked to them about, but didn't give full credence to, I guess. And just been concerned citizen for a long time, watching what's going on in the world, trying to figure it out, trying to splice through the craziness and try to understand why and what's going on. And I'm probably know a lot less than you guys, but have heard a lot. Not sure exactly what's exactly true, but yeah, I don't know. I'm
Okay.
divorced now, have 2 kids. I do stand-up comedy. So you can tell I'm hilarious.
so yeah, me and Joe met just a couple weeks ago, probably maybe a month, but we started talking and I started dipping into different conspiracy theories and he didn't immediately like back up or so I knew I could talk about stuff and we went into some crazy topics and hung out not too long ago again and got into more stuff. And so I thought, this always seems to go better with three of us on the call just to bounce ideas back. So I wanted to bring Joe on today. So, and Tom, it looks like you're muted again.
It's perfect. It's a great idea.
Yeah. So
Nice to meet you, Joe. Yeah.
yeah.
Hi.
So I know we got to get into the evidence that you just showed me. Any thoughts on the cargo ship? What's going on with that whole story? It just started us off.
All I can say is that if we look at history, not to make a judgment call here, but not because I'm afraid to, I want to make sure I get the right information first. And in history, we look at even the ancient Roman Empire and even like the War of Carthage. And what they really did was the tactics of the ancient world was to cut the resources off in total war from populations. And so grain shipments, things like that. And if you disrupt trade, you can weaken your opponents, their sovereign nations much easier.
Yes.
But yeah, so I mean, looking at that, I just can't but compare back to the cargo ship that blocked the Suez Canal. It's just like I just can't help but see that things just don't look like they're accidents when there's a lot of it. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I just figure we'll wait for the official story and then believe the opposite. So, but yeah, no, it just I've watched it, I've done my research, and it seems so weird, that it just looking at it, it looks like it purposely backed into the bridge, and it's like it just there's something strange going on with that one, but Well, yeah, that's a good pop off point.
Yeah. I
um,
mean, yeah, a lot of these players were spoiled children, I suppose. And a lot of times, if you catch a child in the act of doing something wrong, they'll say, "I didn't do it. It was somebody else. It wasn't me." So, and they become adults that say the same thing. So we're never going to get this from them. But using evidence and finding people who usually, if they're players, they'll brag about it, which is one of their biggest weaknesses. They can't shut up. And that's what happened in my situation. Also, besides bragging about it, insiders will get fed up with the arrogance of a lot of these guys that do the stuff that are above them, and they'll spell them out, reveal them later by contacting privately those that it would matter most to. Scenarios, that's a saving grace in humanity. So that's when conspiracy theories become cemented in truth. And then it's up to those that receive that information to have the courage to go forward with it, not sell out. So,
yeah. Yeah, and then we all know about the revelation of the method type stuff, and then how the Obama Netflix movies seem to start out kind of the same way, and all this. There's there's a lot possible with it. So
speaking of that, Joe, I sent you the main player who became head of litigation control and content at Netflix after throwing our
yeah,
case.
yeah,
You see that right there. And there's Obama. They're going to be, in a while, they're going to be very upset about being connected together. They're going to pretty soon say, "I don't know them. I didn't work with them. I didn't know it." But it's actually, we got them. We got them coming and going. What they did was they gave the library, as Disney calls me, all this information. I'm working with great people like yourselves. So it's like, if you're going to take away my movies and my films and my sons, then I'm going to turn my eyes on you. And I'm going to go ahead and research and use my abilities for writing on catching the flies. So,
yeah.
do it.
So a little more of a jump off point. I just wanted to see if Joe has any questions for Tom that, because I know you probably haven't caught up on everything we've done. So didn't know if there was anything that you would like to ask Tom directly as far as his connection to the Matrix or what they've done to him or anything like that.
And,
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
uh, I would just, I want to say a couple things, and then I would ask, just in general, it sounds like a lot of bad things happened to you just from that last statement. But I just saw a quote by Carl Jung that literally like 15 minutes before we started that really stood out to me. He said, the spirit of evil is the negation of the life force by fear. And I've had a ton of questions, see the world going wrong for a long time. Never, anytime I hinted at it with a lot of people, it was just immediately shut down. It was like their mind couldn't go there, even as a thought experiment, And it just seems obvious to me, just what Tom said before, is like in war, where you shut down the supply lines, America's dominance in the economy is based on our super high level society. Like there's a lot of really intricate things done to create rockets or to create computers or to create what the system is now. And if the lower level stuff isn't protected and everything goes to crap, all that stuff stops, you know what I mean? And that doesn't mean we go back to the Stone Age per se, but we can't make the things that make us the best anymore. You know what I mean? And I was in the military, I just worked on planes and stuff, so I wasn't like a strategist, but it seems obvious to me that they're moving in people that don't like us and then attacking us in a lot of different ways and are spiritually and through the culture, riling everyone up to not like each other. It just seems kind of obvious to me. I mean, I'm older, I'm 44, 43, gonna be 44. So it's like, I've seen I don't know. I remember that when it wasn't like this, it was more fun in life, but yeah. And then, yeah, Tom, if you want to let me know, I had heard about the Matrix thing and how they took that from you, but you mentioned your sons, and that sounds terrible to me.
That's part of their playbook, Joe. And I really appreciate what you just shared. It was very articulate. And basically, yes, they murdered both my sons, and they left the last one alive, Aiden. And then they used players to say he didn't exist. The point, again, back to ancient Rome, what they do in the ancient societies, they get rid of your bloodline. They get rid of your um, heirs. And so that way they erase you. They erase you like they did to Queen Nefertiti's husband. It's like they erase you, or Pharaoh. And so that's still a plan. And then they take your wives, they take your daughters. They're so archaic, like you said, Stone Age. They're still Stone Age, and that's supposed to break you. It's also to make them better than you by taking your wife to bed, who was actually planted there, like Total Recall, supplied to you to have access to your evidence, then pull her away. It's like Tyrion's experience from Game of Thrones when he's given the whore to be his wife, and then they have everybody sleep in front of him with it. It's to break you. And so they did that same thing with me. And incidentally, Game of Thrones was written by J.R. Martin or something, but he was an employee of Warner Brothers and HBO. So he was in-house with HBO. So he was hired to write it. Their best work comes from mocking the authors because they have something to fuel their excitement and creative spirit if they have a spark left. And so they actually, their best work, like The Good Place and their adaptations of Philip K. Dick's novel, Man in the High Castle, Minority Report, all is mocking original work and original authors. And that's when their fuel gets going and their fires burn best or brightest, a line from the Game of Thrones. Isn't that something? So their best work comes from what they're interested in, which is mocking those that they can't surmount or better. But yeah.
And I find it interesting with Game of Thrones, that combined with such great writing, you got to give it that. It was a really well written show, but they put so many like just depraved acts and different, it's like they want to desensitize the population to these really crazy ideas, and like, and so many people watch it religiously, and just like it goes in and it desensitizes them to all that like incest and all this weird stuff that they just kind of like. It's not even that they sneak it in. It's blatantly in your face.
That's right. That's exactly right, Joe. It's like what they want people to realize or think is that everyone is dark inside, that they can get away with their thefts and their depravity and their use of young children, exploitation. They want to make us all believe we're bad and that everyone is dark in their soul. And if you're not admitting you're dark in your soul, you're lying to yourself and to everyone else. And eventually you'll be caught and found out. That's why they don't like people like us. They don't like people like us, that like you served in the Marines, you had a family, you have your kids, and you wanted to live a regular life and know what's going on. They don't want that. They want us to all be wanting the red carpet, that we all want to be the top dog, that we want to be on the pinnacle with everybody looking up at us and wishing they were us. That is not anything that sparks my creative spirit. And it's not something I want. I actually do want all of humanity to come together and evolve together, that we actually do care about each living soul. I do want that. And I do believe that's possible. And I do believe we're gravitating to that. And they're the ones fighting upstream. That I think that by us succeeding, those of us that actually care and actually work the original work, write the original work, that actually has heart, feeling, compassion in it, besides, their thing of just being power, we have compassion. That makes for great work if you're serving your audience. And what they're afraid of is like my background right here. They're afraid of us succeeding. I mean, I was, as you were just saying, under the gun, my son's murdered, I'm supposed to be broken. And then I'm accused of not being broken. Well, I'm doing it in their memory. And I'm going to succeed and bring down those that did this and let them not harm others. My viewpoint is that I have compassion, so therefore they can't break me. With compassion, I'm not going to hurt myself or take myself out because I can't help others if I took myself out. So they lose by compassion. Isn't that something? More powerful than just power. I've been telling them this. And also the idea with compassion is that we're going to create great work and we won't stop in honor of our loved ones that were taken. It's not going to break us. It's going to make us more fiery. We're going to go ahead and finish the job. And we're going to create other work that they can't have and create studios where those studios will produce it and they can have a slice of it. It's driving Disney mad. I actually have a conversation with Disney exec and attorney saying, show us the other work. How do we know you're not a two-hit wonder? These guys that are even saying that, because I have this playoff, off Broadway, green lighted off Broadway. So they're like, how do we know you're not a two-hit wonder? I'm like, well, I've got 16 other screenplays. Of course, I've been doing it. What do you think I've been doing since 1993? So those are buried in a trash bag. There's nowhere they're going to find them. They know that. I said, if anything happens to my last son, they're destroyed. And their response is, you can't do that. Like, really? So I got a nerve. I hit a nerve. But they're on there. They get so upset. They start unleashing everything. They say, Tom, because I said, why is this being done to my family anyway? I started to open them up after I got them rattled. And they say on tape, yes, I'm recording it. I guess they forgot that when they got upset about that other thing. They said, we did this because we want you to know we can get to your last surviving son anytime we want. That's why they're pulling up these cars, pulling up. They work with the police. I'm like, wow, okay, great. You record. And then I'm like, okay, well, why do you do this? They say, because we can. Okay, record that one. Then they said, you got to understand, Tom, it's all about power. You can get them forgetting that you might just be recording them. And to go, it's all about power. I said, what about power and compassion? I said, your writers are not going to have great work if they're following a system that's so archaic, like that idea of the hero story, and what you're basically doing a template that's rehashed, and you don't think anything's new under the sun. They actually say that. I said, if you have compassion, your work is going to be unique. It's going to be serving your audience, and it'll be fresh. It'll be, all kinds of concepts. And they did say everything's been done under the sun. I said, any person that would do a take on my work, the immortal story, the Matrix story, any person like you, anyone to take on it, it would be a unique story to you and your viewpoint. So that means how many people are in the world? If they did a take on it, that's billions of variations of just one work that makes it possible. Not everything's been under the sun by a long shot.
Yeah,
unless you make it pretty cut. So it's exciting. We got an exciting time coming. And I am going to honor my sons, And the only thing that twerks me really is the shills and the plants and we call them minions that are brought in to try to, naysay, just say nonsense. We had a guy do it recently that was named Mike Pack, who did, get this, he's a Hollywood guy that they employed to attack on this one show I just did. And he's famous for Hollywood hillbillies. Now, if you want to know rehash in Hollywood, it would be Hollywood hillbillies, because that's from what? The Beverly Hillbillies. My God. So this moron is attacking, like saying, there's no evidence. It's all about him. It's me. It's he's BS story. I'm like, dude, if you see the evidence, and so I showed him the train station scene. I don't see it. That is the go-to response of those that are paid minions that want to get back into Hollywood. So he's a failed writer that wants to get back, a producer wants to get back in Hollywood. So he's sold out. And so you show him the train station scene with the matchups, he'll say, I don't see it. That's the line they always use. A train station, it's like getting Italian. Train station scene. There's a little girl being pushed in. There's liquid mirrors that get past her if you're in the program, and you don't see it. So hats off to you, Mike Pack, for being the biggest moron on the planet. So Hollywood keeps sending these idiots my way that are supposed to shout down what we have. But we've got, at the same time, Warner Bros. Saying that we got too much evidence. How can you have too much evidence? So that's why I sent some of it to you just recently. But anyway,
no, yeah, I just started looking at. I got home and I took a quick look. I didn't really look through it real deep, but yeah. Now that we're on that, I did want to bring another thing up. What are your thoughts on Sophia Stewart?
Okay, I need a bag, and I need a flight bag if I can get one. I will fill it to the brim.
Yes. No, I
sent some materials on that.
So just so for our watchers, Sophia Stewart is claiming she wrote The Matrix and the Terminator movies, and actually won a lawsuit about it. But I just got to know your thoughts.
Did not win the lawsuit. In fact, we have the letter from Kate Chilton, the organizer that planned the whole ripoff, right, with Disney and Warner Brothers, coordinator.
Yeah.
Who sent a letter to Sophia Stewart, and Sophia Stewart sent a letter back wanting her payoff for handling me. Yeah, okay. We got it. And Kate Chilton resigned immediately, and Sophia Stewart struck it from her site. Sophia Stewart, as a moron, put it up on her site to show that she was going to be getting $5-7 million possibly from Warner Brothers. The letter says she's not getting it. She's not needed anymore because it was to handle me. So what's interesting is it was a stupid moronic move by her too from the projects. But what happens is Sophia Stewart has what she calls a manuscript, right? 33 pages. She hasn't even written a screenplay. She hasn't even written a script. And her book, don't buy it. Her book is all about her court filings as a paralegal, trying to take advantage, which Kate Chilton letter shows, trying to take advantage that, get this, Warner Brothers doesn't have a copyright on Matrix. Let that sink in. That's where Sophia Stewart thought she could slip in after contacting me multiple times, taunting me, which I recorded. Oh, it's going to be great. Oh my God, I can't wait for the documentary. So anyway, yeah. So Sophia Stewart is supposed to handle me under Kate Chilton. Kate Chilton's supposed to pay her off. Sophia Stewart blew it. Kate Chilton's not going to pay her. So now she's telling the world that she's going to get 5 to 7 million. She's not.
Okay.
She's not. And she has no script. She never wrote a script. She wrote what's called a manuscript. And it is a mix of the Bible and Star Wars. Talk about rehash. Yeah.
No,
I mean, you figure, yeah, plagiarize those two.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, that I had to ask you because I, we've been doing this for years now, and I've seen all the evidence that you have, and it's just like all of a sudden the Sophia Stewart's coming up, and she wrote it too, and I'm like, what's going on?
Can I show you? Can I show you some of the things? Can I show you guys some of the things she sent me?
Yeah, let me give you a screen share ability here.
Right, let's see this, guys. Let's see this, and jump in anytime too. Right, Joe. Anytime you want, jump in. You're both named Joe, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so Joe,
actually, very close. Both Joe and I am Roselle, and he's Rose. So
goodness gracious, guys. Okay, so all right, so I'll just say I'll talk to you both at the same time.
We're in a simulation.
Here we are. Yeah, okay. So tell me
We're
when
in a simulation.
I love it. You guys are both great. Okay, here we go. Activating my screen. Hopefully it'll work.
Yep, it's going. So
do you see me?
There you go. Popped up now.
Good to go?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
watch
I can
this.
see it.
Watch this. Now here's Sophia Stewart holding a Academy Award for nothing. She didn't get an Academy Award. She took someone else's that knew her and asked to hold it to pretend that she got an Academy Award for The Matrix. Okay. All right. From the projects, a practicing witch from Manhattan. She actually, before she was hired by Chilton for Warner Brothers, failed out of USC, couldn't make it as a writer. And so in the projects in Manhattan, she was hired to put curses on people. So there you go. Yeah, that works. Now here's what she wrote me. One of the things, and one of the many calls too that she gave me. Here we have her over here, Sophia Stewart, right? And she's doing a friend request to me. Now, here's the question, guys. The Joes, why is she making a friend request to me when she's writing this in the middle? She's writing to her #1 guy who she's upset with because he was contacting me and revealing Sophia Stewart to me. So she writes to him trying to use reverse psychology on me so I can help you and your publicity-seeking friend. Now, keep that in mind, publicity-seeking friend. What you guys probably know is when they accuse you of something, they're projecting from themselves, right? They want to put it away from themselves. They project it on others. Thomas is not—
Sounds like my ex-wife.
Yeah, Thomas is not seeking justice, just pure ego and publicity. No thanks. Okay, so we've said so far, publicity-seeking friend, just pure ego and publicity. Hold on to those. She's hammering these things, right? You or Thomas, capital letters for some reason, that's a curse move, will never accomplish anything. He is just a footnote, nothing else. You teamed up with a loser from a cult. So all these talking points are coming at me. Same that Mike Pack used just a little ways ago. So you have, now look at her company. This is fun. Look at her company name, okay? Pure ego, just publicity, okay, ready?
All eyes on me.
Owner, writer, producer at All Eyes on Me Incorporated.
And you're the you're the egomaniac. So,
I love it. I love what they do, right? So she's sending me a friend request and she's saying this at the same time. And you can see my response. What the hell? Sophia says, it's like, what the hell? Anyway, so there she is doing that. Now, what's interesting is the real mother of the Matrix, she's not the mother of anything, but the real mother of the Matrix is right there. My mom who has Swiss German descent. So that's my mom, who's the real mother of the Matrix, because she made it possible for us to keep going, right?
Did you base the Oracle off her then?
Oh, that's a beautiful question. Okay, ready for this? Love it. Keep firing these away. The oracle is based on myself because as a young writer in my first piece, I want to be able to flesh out these characters and know how they're going to respond, right? That's what you do. So each of them have a little bit of me in them. So the oracle's actually a white guy who is an anomaly, who has 7 wives, basically, that are priestesses, basically, that we are all able to transverse from the program into the program, outside the program, without being in the program. So the oracle's an anomaly, see, who had a father who was inside the program, a mother who was outside the program, or vice versa, right? It became an anomaly. So I thought it was a cooler story, you know? And his job, he's employed by the architect to bring out the people of Zion at the right time to see him come back as Christ and purge his agents so he can then have the pure power of worship to simulate his mind forever in an immortal program. His mind might atrophy otherwise. So that's how you balance the equation, see? How do you get people with free will to give you follow you? Come back as Christ. Identical figures at the end are the architect looking like Christ and Christ himself appearing. Whoops. That's the ending. And so that's why this matchup.
Tom,
yeah.
Tom, will you say that part a little slower?
Yeah, sure. No, go ahead, call me on. In fact, I'm going to get a graphic up while we do it. Hold on. Here you go. I'll show you this. Okay. First of all, let me put these up and then I will address that. I think this was meant to be. So
and the oracle, what you were just talking about, was a different work that you did?
No. The oracle in the Matrix.
You're talking about the oracle from the movie.
Yes.
From the movie, yes.
Yes. He was supposed to be a white male who had 7 wives. Right.
Okay.
Bonaventura loved that. He loved that idea. He was like, this is great. You know, it's like he thought it was great. But look at this now. Identical figures facing off in the Matrix, right? And look what they did. You have Neo with a big golden cross in a crucifix form. They're mocking the original author's work, where it's the Christ figure facing off as identical figures with the architect at the end. See? To balance the equation, let me slow this down as you asked, because it's a good call. To balance the equation, first of all, what is the equation that needs to be balanced? The Wachowskis don't make that clear. They just lift all the images they think are cool from the Immortals and say, let audiences figure out for themselves. They simply want credit for the concepts and iconic ideas. That's what they're going for. They don't care if it ties together. In fact, Joel Silver on set said, we hope it ties together after we shoot it, because they're working off the original screenplay, which is copyrighted, my work, The Immortals. In fact, their attorneys are on tape saying they have no working drafts. They have no Matrix copies. All they have is a work that was written after the film was shot, where they put down everything that was improvised. Where my work was held on set, along with a visual storyboard, lifting all the images. Did that come across right? Clear?
Yeah, so you're talking about the original story and how they changed it as far as the oracle goes. Yeah, okay, I'm following.
Yes. So now let's finish that. I'm glad you said that. So why is Sophia Stewart claiming to be the oracle? Now let me go back to that. Okay, ready? Let's look at her. Let's not actually, but I don't have a choice. All right. Do you know what she's doing now? While we go over this, do you know what she's doing now? She's wearing blouses down to here, and she's showing off her cleavage. I mean, girl, you're like 56 years old. I wouldn't be flashing those saggy things around, but that's what she's doing in order to try to get attention. And wearing sunglasses like this, like uber kill sunglasses, will make her look like a Hollywood star. Desperate for the attention right now. Now, what's interesting about her is Warner Brothers cast the Oracle to look like Stewart so they could make her a first claimant that people would say, they took her work. She looks like the Oracle. Here's the point. There's nothing about written material in that. That's simply Warner Brothers doing what they did, hiring her to be the first claimant. So they put the Oracle looking like her, but she doesn't have a script. She has a 33-page manuscript that she calls, and she doesn't have any film screenplay. There's nothing that she's written that matches in the Matrix, and she's the one that's supposed to tap me and say that she's going to handle me, and that I was one of the elite now. She called me right after her story first was breaking, and said that I was the missing link. She coined me as. It's on tape. So something. So she was supposed to handle me. Now, let's finish this little segment up if we may. 'Cause
Yeah,
I want to show you this. Watch this.
this is going really fast. We're down under 10 minutes already. So,
Oh, we got to do this again, guys. Let's line up a series. You got to
Okay.
see this. Okay, here we go. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, you ready? This is alluding to the letter we have. I'm not going to show it yet because watch this. This is the affidavit from Nicholas Jackson, who she was picking on in that message about me, pure ego, right? That was the guy she was writing to. Now, her number one. And in it, Kate Chilton is explaining, or they're alluding to how Kate Chilton said she's not going to give the money. She's not going to give the 5 to 7 million for the period 5 years from this 2014, 2005 to 2014. So the year she handled me was 2005 to 2004, 2009 to 2009 to 2014 is when she handled me, right? When the story first broke. And so that's when the money is supposed to be given to her for the 5 to 7 million if she succeeds in breaking me. But she didn't. So Kate Chilton's saying, we're not giving you the money. We didn't need you, right? So that's what she posted. So here's a reference letter to it into the courts. And it says here that Kate Chilton explained and says, Warner Brothers does not own the copyrights to Matrix, only the rights to the green lettering images. Think of it. They don't have a copyright on Matrix? But what do they have a copyright on? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? What do they have a copyright on? Well, let's call it up. They have a copyright on the Immortals.
No, no.
That's right. They have a copyright on the Immortals, and guess who they're claiming is hired by Warner Brothers and the HBO, who did Game of Thrones, to write it.
We've gone over this before, but this might be new for Joe. So
Do this, Joe. So here you go. Let's go really nicely over this, nice and slow, because it's important. HBO, Time Warner's, this is from the Copyright Office, right? Immortals and The Immortals by Tom Hanks, employee for hire. It says, ordered and commissioned by HBO and Warner Brothers to write with a certificate of authorship, The Immortals, not The Matrix, The Immortals, right?
Wow.
Think that in. And not only that, let's go to the side here 1 second and let's take our time. Let's not even rush it at all. This is so good we're doing this. Thanks, guys. Because just now picture them going, he's a fraud. He has no proof. He has no evidence. Let's enjoy that thought as we look at this. All right, let's do it. All right, now look how stupid they look. See that letterhead here? It's from Boyd and Boyd of Norfolk, right? This is the attorney who submitted The Immortals, this author's work, to Warner Brothers, 4000 Warner Boulevard. Attention, Diane Bellis, head of the story department at Burbank, California, Warner Brothers. June 25th, 1993. Now, the Wachowskis claim they created the work in sometime in 93, right? And here is the work, the screenplay. Now, he says partial, but it's actually acts 1 and 2, the screenplay. The music, character guide sheet, opening, closing, songs, everything's in here. Okay. Story treatment. So here's the tracking number and receipt in the bottom corner. So it went right to them. There's no doubt about it, right? Certified letter, return receipt. All right. So this went to Warner Brothers after Bonaventura had us pitch it, the head of executive.
So they were gonna say Tom Hanks wrote it? Was that their plan?
You are on the ball. Yes. After the Wachowskis failed at Assassins, watch the pieces come together. Guys, I'm having so much fun. Watch this. Watch this. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Assassins. Wait, this is Immortals. This is very important for a second. I'll go. Hold on. Where's Assassins? Where's Assassins? Assassins? Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Immortals. Okay, hold on. I'm looking for Assassins. Okay, hold on. This is too important not to have. Okay, hold on. Right here. Let's do it this way. It's gonna be a little hard to see, but let's call it up.
And we're
Okay.
down to 5 minutes. So just
Dude, it's not enough time. Oh my God, I love this. Tell me you're having fun.
This
Okay,
is
look at this.
great. Yeah, this is a really fun one.
Okay, Assassins, see Assassins? Wachowskis, library copyright catalog. And look at here. De Laurentiis and Paradise Films is listed with Larry and Andy Wachowski on the Assassins. So they are copywriting work, right? Just not the Matrix. Why? They're copywriting assassins. Now they failed. They failed at writing. Another writer had to be brought in. They were so upset, and this is October 1993, right when they're going to be given the work, the Immortals. Now go to the side here real quick. Tell me we're running on time. Here's Immortals. There's De Laurentiis again, and Starling Productions, his company, Paradise Films, his company, De Laurentiis Productions, his company, and the investment firm claiming they have created the Immortals before Tom Hanks, right? Because they were going to give it to the Wachowskis to save their career. But the Wachowskis failed assassins. So what does he do? He gives it to Tom Hanks in 1998. Now look at this. This letter up here I showed you was June 25th, 1993. So Tom Hanks, they put a joke in the Copyright Office where they say that the arbitrary date of when he comes up with it is June 25th, just like the letter of submission, 98. See how far they go? Now it says, Tom Hanks, employee for hire, ordered and commissioned by HBO and Warner Brothers to write the Immortals, and it's 1 to 3 pages long.
Yeah.
They did better than Sophia Stewart. Sophia Stewart only had 33 pages. Mine's 128. In the industry, it's a minute a page. So if you want a 2-hour film, it's 120 pages. So she has a commercial, and Tom Hanks has a footnote.
Yeah, exactly.
That pamphlet from Airplane, famous Jewish sports.
He's got 3 minutes of movie written there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then look at this. Then they put Wendy Wasserstein, who's the Heidi Chronicles writer, right? And claim that she's hired by Warner Brothers, Time Warner, and HBO to write the same thing Tom Hanks is being given credit for. She is given a certificate of authorship and an employee to be hired by Warner Brothers and HBO to write, also claim the Immortals created by Wendy Wasserstein. So who's creating it? Tom Hanks or Wendy Wasserstein? Warner Brothers?
So
right, isn't that something? And now look, one thing before you go, just wrap it up this way. There's the original work again. The Immortals, gold sealed, blue ribboned, bolted copy from the Copyright Office, 128 pages, can't be denied, shows you the supervisory copyright specialist and acting United States Register of Copyrights and director, Karen and Veronica, can't be denied, gives the PAU number where you can look it up, 2304074, stamped December 22nd, 1998. So what you have is the Immortals. Isn't that something?
Yep.
Isn't that something? Now, Tommy Boy doesn't want to get caught in this. And Tommy Boy was supposed to be my mentor when I was in Hollywood in 1996. Ellen Geer, Grandpa Walton's daughter, said Tom Hanks and Ron Howard would be mentoring me in Hollywood. Why? So he can so they could say Tom Hanks, that I took the work from Tom Hanks. But Tom Hanks and I never met. That falls short. Doesn't work anymore, does it? Can't take it from you if I haven't met yet.
So we're down to a minute and a half.
All right, let's wrap it up. Let's do another. We can do another show sometime. I want to show you these things because look what it ends up. They actually they actually then put the Immortals when I show up in 1996. De Laurentiis takes the name off the work and they put it in the name of the investment firms, the biggest investment firms in the world, then claim they wrote the Immortals.
Oh no. So,
and they have all these times. Let's talk about that later. This is great.
Yeah, let's definitely do this again. This has been fun. Whenever I can do it next week. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but it's always fun. So let's try.
We do follow-ups. Like we do follow-ups. And Joe, can you come back? Josie?
I'll come back. Yeah, definitely.
I want to show you the matchups and everything like that and what they stuck in the original work. You're gonna be the most educated guys on the planet.
I'm sorry. Hey, Tom, I'm sorry about that, man. That sucks.
Well, we're going to turn it around and use it.
Fighting though.
I will. My son's memory will be lifted. We're going to survive this. We're going to succeed. We're going to turn the whole world around, and the work will be made and seen the way it was originally written, untainted, and they won't be able to deny it. Sophia Stewart's last comment on that was, then we'll put an injunction on you. If you put an injunction on it, it means that we have matchups. It means we win. Can't lose.
All right, we got to end it there. We're out of time, but yeah, let's do this again real soon. Thanks for both of you for coming on.
All right, let's line it up.
Thank you, guys.